Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good night, whenever you are. My name is Leticia and we are here to continue the makeup shorties. And today we are talking about the next step in our makeup, which after the skin prep and foundation is the concealer and the powder. Yes, if you're interested, keep watching. So now we've seen skin prep, we've seen foundation, and we're going for concealer powder 101. Wow. No, save me. Don't go away, please. It's concealer. I love those. I love this. Yeah, you can see that. So very similar to foundation. Remember, it just has more pigment and usually comes in smaller packages and it's more expensive. No, I'm kidding. Well, generally it is. But the point is not to evaluate the price, but the coverage. If you want a natural look, again, go for something a little more moisturizing, which can be a little thicker, but not necessarily, like the Kosas one that I have here. It's not liquidy, it's not thick, but has just enough pigment. It spreads very easily. It's not like a plaster on your skin, but it has a lot of pigment. So it does a good job and also moisturizes. Every time you test on the back of your hand, try to see, also like spread it and try to see how it dries. Does it dry up your hands? It's gonna dry up your skin in your face too, The MAC Studio Fix is also a fave of mine. It can look very natural. This color is kind of like a corrector for me under eye circles, kind of brightening thing going on. Very liquidy too. See, very easy to spread, very thin. You have others like Tarte Face Shape. This is a sample size. They are going to be thicker and they are going to dry. Oh yes. I don't have much left of it, but let me see. Let me show you. Look at the finishing. It was instant difference. The other one was shining. This one's just mattifying. So this means that if you apply this under your eyes, you most likely are going to end up with cakey under eyes because our eyes have lots of lines. When we smile, that part of our face moves a lot. That is true for a lot of parts of our face. So using matte products there are most likely gonna end up of them accumulating and showing up and cracking up. You have some concealers like this that are moisturizing, hydrating. So they are good for under eye circles. This is thicker. It's thicker consistency. This is better if you want to do spot concealing. That's the ones you should go for. Also, the ones that have a lot of fragrance like this one, they are not particularly good for under eye areas, because eyes are very sensitive and fragrance tends to be irritating. So be careful about that too. You do have some concealers that are kind of like illuminating and correcting at the same time. So you could also go for that. This is a good one. And you also have like very good drugstore options, like the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, which compared to the other ones, you can see like clear difference in color, but also in finishing. It's not as matte. It does shine a little bit, but it's more natural. So if you want natural makeup, that's what you should aim for. Staying in the middle, not too matte, not too dewy. But if I were to go to tip anywhere, I would take in consideration how does my skin behave. So if it's oily, maybe if you tip a little bit to the matte side, during the day, the oils of your skin are going to mix with your foundation and then it's gonna look awesome. If you have more dry, try to apply on this dry areas, things that are a little more dewy. And during the day, your skin will keep the nourishment there and not suck up the moisture. So looking at my face now, what do I need? We just talked about concealers. I would say that I could use some illuminating on this under eye circles. And for that, I would use the Fit Me Concealer because it's a little brightening and a little bit of correcting too. Is a little pinky. The pink colors under the eyes, they are used very often. The pink with most skin tones will make it look a little lighter. Not necessarily everyone. Again, I already applied a lot of product there, so I have to be very calm about this. You can apply with a brush or you can apply with your fingers and tap. Warming up concealer is a good trick to make it warm up with your face and mix with your face and look more natural. Problems that happen with a lot of people. You go with your makeup too close to this part of your eyes, like this under eye bottom eyelash, and obviously it accumulates there. Why, you ask? Well, because everyone's skin moves there. So there's no way you're gonna apply makeup and it's not gonna, move with it and start shifting. You should stop the makeup before this area. Usually what you can do if you wanna kind of conceal, which is not really necessary, but what you can do is just blend it a little bit of eyeshadow, like the color of your skin, a little bit darker, and just blend it like close to your eyelashes. It will be perfect. So looking at my skin now, does it look more healthy? Does it look better or not? I could go out like that. I'm ready to go. What do you think? So just a conclusion, recap. First, pay attention to your skin. What does it tell you? How does it behave? And second, less is more for every single product you are applying. Skin prep, foundation, concealer, and all the other ones we're gonna talk about in the next episodes. But if you want natural looking makeup in the end, go for less. The more pigment your foundation and concealer have, the less you have to apply. Only apply to areas that actually need it. So do I need color uniformization in this area? Do I need color correction? And that will also apply for powder. Yes. For the concealer, if you want to spot conceal, you can go for concealers that are a little more matte and a little thicker. Sure, good, but go for the same shade of your skin, okay? Also, if you want to conceal on top of acne and you have peely skin, don't go for matte foundation or concealer because that will enhance the crackness appearance because, you know, no moisture is going to suck more moisture and all that jazz that we just talked about. Match the tone of your skin. If you're going for highlighting this area, then you can go for 1, maybe 2. It might be too much. You have to try and see because it will look as natural. Tones under, so lighter. Don't use lighter concealer to spot conceal because that will only grab attention, you know, like it will make it pop, and that's not what you want. You want it to conceal it. Under my eyes, I'm almost 35 years old, so I have texture, I have a little bit of dark circles, I have fine lines. It's not extremely bad, but they are there already. So dewy concealer, it's better for me under this area. If it has more pigment, even better because I can use it less. I use less of it, which makes it enhance less the texture. So it's great. It's always a choice. Do you want to conceal it so badly that you're okay with enhancing a little bit of the texture, or you rather no one sees the texture and let the color stay there and you don't care about it? It's up to you to decide. Well, as you can probably tell, there are not many variations in powder. I mean, there are, but So the thing is, a powder is powder. There are moist, wet powders nowadays, which is very cool. It's great. What is gonna vary in them is how thick or how thin the grains are, like how powdery they are, and the color. So roughly, there's not really like right or wrong, but the thinner the powder is, the better finish it's gonna give your skin. Why? Because then it's gonna be harder to see it. So it's gonna more easily melt with your skin and with the rest of the makeup, and that's gonna look better. Also, if it's too thick, it's gonna show up in the lines. So when you smile and all of that, but powder might be extremely necessary depending on the type of skin you have. If you have dry skin, I would not recommend applying powder or a very thin layer of powder all over. It's more than enough. If you're like me and have combo skin, or if you have oily skin, then go for a little bit of powder, but only in the areas you need. So one of the favorite powders of everyone in all the time throughout history, I don't know, it's the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I have this sample size. It is absolutely great. I'm sure that there are other very good powders out there. There are banana powders, which people claim because it's yellow, they help to brighten this area on the under eyes. I can't really talk about that. I'm not really sure it does that, but it's good. I mean, if that's what you like, go for it. I would recommend though, staying away from baking. That does not look natural. Bake only if you really are going for like a full glam look that you're going to use for camera and film. Otherwise, stay away from it. So you can apply powder with a sponge or with a brush, because I want to be very careful, very extremely careful with my powder application, because the areas where I need powder, like around my nose, in these areas, they are also areas that have a lot of texture for me. So if I apply a lot, it's just gonna increase the texture and make I look like I'm 90 instead of, you know, what I am, which is almost 35, I guess. Anyways, I'm getting some product in my brush and I'm tapping. Do never ever apply directly on your skin. You can tap in the back of your hand, in the lid. I don't care, just don't do that. And before you set your makeup, make sure that that's what you want to set. Make sure it's not accumulating, it's already not cracking. And if it is, you go in with a sponge and you press it and you make sure you took out the excess. Otherwise, you will set the crevices with that all the makeup accumulated there, and you won't move that. It will show up forever until you remove your face of makeup. It's gonna be there. Like, there's no way of taking it out after, because that's what the powder's for, to set. So make sure you have what you want to actually set the way you want to set. And then don't use too much. Just tap and go slow. I do recommend setting with very little powder this area if you're going for a concealer and if you want to last longer. If you don't really care for how long it lasts, the makeup on your skin, then it doesn't matter. Don't powder. It's gonna look more natural without the powder. If you want to make it last at least like 8 hours, then powder, it will probably be necessary if you have combo to oily skin. So I applied a little bit of powder only on my T-zone, my complicated areas, and I'm leaving the rest. I love when it gets shiny. Actually, I always prefer my makeup a little bit like 2 to 3 hours after, because the oils of my skin start mixing with the makeup and makes it look more natural. If I'm going already for like a dewy foundation, I don't have to wait that long for it to look better, like the way I like it. But if I'm mattifying a little bit like right now, it takes a while to look the way I want it to look. That's also something that you're gonna figure out by yourself. Like, you're gonna apply many faces of makeup and you're gonna figure, oh, I like it like this, I like it like that, I prefer this finish, I prefer that finish, maybe a little bit here, a little bit there. It's something that you're gonna figure out by yourself, because everyone's different. And that's it. Look. You can tell I have foundation on, but in real life, in person, but it's because I use this foundation to show you guys, which I wouldn't use if I wanted a natural look. So if I wanted a natural look, I would just stay with this one or maybe one of the other dewy ones. But if you discount that, it's extremely natural. You can still see texture because makeup is not gonna solve that, okay? Makeup can enhance that if you use too much, but it won't take away the texture. And then it's also a little matte right now because of the foundation and because I powdered this area. But I mean, I don't look perfect, and that was not the point here. The point is to look better, like a more enhanced version of myself, and I think I got that here much better. But we're gonna talk about the setting spray and other steps in the middle that are going to, you know, bring a little more of life back to your skin. Honestly, you could stop here. If you don't apply a thick layer of foundation, you don't blank your face and erase all your features, you cannot, I can stop here and no one's gonna be like, what's going on with you? You look weird today. I look fine. But if you blank your features, you have to kind of put them back using blush, bronzer, contour, blah, 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 all of that jazz, right? If you don't, then you're good to go. Something else that helps the makeup to blend with everything and look more natural is the setting spray. We're gonna talk about that in another episode because this video is quite long. We're gonna talk about that in the future. I hope you enjoy this. Thanks for commenting, liking, subscribing, all of the jazz. Leave comments, tell me if you like this and what else, what other tips you want to hear about. And I hope you have an awesome day. Bye!